Good morning and welcome back to BIFA TV, your daily dose of industry information. Today we're discussing the safe loading of trucks. It's a topic that's come to the attention of BIFA's policy and compliance team, and it's a matter that all members should be aware of. Joining me to tell us more is BIFA's policy advisor, Robert Windsor. Good morning, Robert.
Morning, Natalie.
So firstly, what do you want to highlight to BIFA members in this episode?
Well, really, it's that subject about the safe loading of trucks. The important point to remember is legislation in different countries varies, and therefore the member needs to be conversant with those different regulations. Loading a truck is a three-way party. It's as simple as that. You have got the consignor, the loader, and the driver. And what we want to look at today is how you get all of those to work properly.
Sure. So do we have any examples of the problems that have recently been encountered by our members?
Yes, I've looked after this issue for several years, but I think most members would know the Germans are very strict on loading instructions and how we do it. Now, we've actually had two instances, both involving Germany, which we're going to discuss in a bit more detail later.
Sure. So can you outline to members recent legal developments that they should be aware of?
Right. Well, I think the German one's interesting because the Germans actually will prosecute the loader. And basically, we've had two cases where the fine, the penalty, the prosecution, whatever you want to say, has come back through the German courts to the UK entity. And I think it's important that we bear in mind it's not just the company that is being pursued, it is the actual individual who has supervised the loading, which has really shook people up. And there is definitely a trend in Europe about driver welfare. And they're certainly looking at this as them not being required to load trucks. And so recent laws have been passed, which basically means that except in certain specialist equipment, the driver cannot be requested to load his own vehicle. It is still a three-way party. Load the vehicle safely. That is the consignor's responsibility. The interesting part that I find is actually who is responsible for lashing the load, and that varies between different countries because German law says it is the consignor. Other legislation makes it quite clear it would be the driver because it's actually on his vehicle.
Sure.
And that's really where we're at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. So finally, do you have any other points you'd like to make around this topic?
If you are loading to go to Europe, it's probably worthwhile liaising with hauliers from the country that you are actually going to be going to or transiting. And that's an important thing, I think, because obviously Germany is a main transit country, and we saw the truck overturned in a previous slide. You know, they have a lot of problems because of badly loaded trucks, so they tend to be more pedantic about this, shall we say. So basically, speak to the partners. If you need to speak to a legal entity in this country, and I think it would probably be worth your while to ask them if they have any representation in those countries. So if the worst comes to the worst and you get a pull, you've got a local solicitor to look after the matter for yourself.
Robert, thank you for joining us and thank you for your update this morning.
That's okay, that's fine.
For further support and guidance on this topic, please read the article that's just appeared in this month's BIFA link. We'll pop a link to that in the description below. If you need some further support, Robert is also available. We'll pop his contact details in the description below as well. That's all for today's episode of BIFA TV, your daily dose of industry information.